Yeah, so I'll just start off with Koji saying infinite possibilities or whatever. He calls them realities. They're gonna physically exist because they can be destroyed. Uh, any questions about that?
Um, I could debunk that shitty ass argument. Send the scans real quick.
Sure.
Oh, okay, and then repeat your argument.
Koji sees infinite amount of possibilities. He calls them future realities. They can be destroyed.
Okay, Koji calls them future
This nigga's
reality.
trolling.
Okay, I'm not trolling. You're about to get like beat up pretty bad. Hold up. I don't even know why I'm doing this. This argument's so simple. I was just going to be weird and take notes, but it's whatever. So, firstly, I don't. If you're positing some type of material essence or substance when saying that these things can be destroyed,
What'd you say?
are you positing some type of material substance by saying
Yes.
these things can be destroyed? Okay, and then so why does that logically follow?
What do you mean? Why does it logically follow that they can be
Yeah,
destroyed?
because something could be because the concept of something can cease to exist and that thing could be quote unquote destroyed. So the entire premise why I'll be going with is the reason why I do not think this inherently logically follows is given the fact that he says they are future realities, right? And the first statement specifically says we cannot let the worst case become reality. So he can be referencing future reality as in these notions can manifest themselves to have equal or equivalent substance as this current world they exist in, not that these things exist independently from this world and have equal substance. Right, it's referencing the fact that these things could possibly be viable as equal substance, not that they are equal substance.
Okay, so
So
you're
that's my point.
okay, so you're talking about them not being independent, right?
No, never. I don't care about the quantity right now. But the entire argument was the fact that if we're deriving substance from capacity to be destroyed, these things can be not viable in terms of notion because they're mutually exclusive for reality. That's they are destroyed. Right, but that's referencing a conceptual destruction, which still does not entail that they are substantive.
Okay, so basically, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're basically trying to say that they're not independent worlds, correct? Or what's
I
your point?
never I never disagree with. They can be worlds in a theoretical sense, sure. As in, it's a web of set of events that exist independently from another that are only mutually inclusive within the set scope referencing this reality. That's fine. They can be a world theoretically speaking. The entire point is whether or not they have equal substance to our own. As in, if I say this world, it has concrete qualities. I'm saying that for the semantics here, that's not entailed.
And why is this going to be the case? Because, to my knowledge, I believe if something's going to be capable of getting destroyed by physical actions, it would be considered real to some extent.
Okay, well, like I just said earlier, when we're referencing the notion of destruction, right? I said that this just ultimately entails the idea that this possibility is not viable as something that can happen to this current world. So, an example that I gave as if quote unquote physical destruction, which can still entail a theoretical scope, is the fact that this current set of events that they exist in has to be mutually inclusive for this to be a possible reality. That's what possibilities are. If this set of events that currently exist is mutually exclusive, that possibility is no longer viable. Hence, it is destroyed as something that was plausible in the first place. So, no, I do not think that the physical set of affairs dictating something being logically possible is going to contradict anything.
That's okay. So basically, I'm just trying to understand. You're trying to say that the worlds aren't possible currently, right? That some
No,
haven't.
I'm saying that they exist purely as theoretical possibilities.
Okay,
If I
so
wanted to
theoreticals,
assert
just
the more
hypotheticals, right?
parsimonious,
It's
yeah,
hypotheticals,
they'll be
basically.
hypothetical.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's real
So
parsimonious point I'm positing.
okay, yeah. So would you agree to the fact that Koji verbatim said that Jura, the worst possible future, is possible right now, or do you want to see that?
Well, you said what, Sylvia?
I say Koji just verbatim said the worst possible future, aka Jura, is literally possible in the current moment. Do you want to see that statement or no?
Yeah, that's fine. I don't care if it's in the current moment. It's like whatever. Like the entire point is, I'm saying that when we're saying something's possible, is mutually inclusive to a set of events. The set of events is going to be referencing physical instances. If the set of events contradicts this theoretical realm actually being applicable to reality, as previously which it was, then this realm is now destroyed as a plausible idea for the future. Right, but that shows like a physical relation, as in the notion is incompatible with the physical state of reality, but it still explains how these things cannot exist substantively as the current reality does. What's up?
Okay, so when you're talking about hypotheticals, you're talking about like what if scenarios, like what if this is possible, or what if this doesn't happen, like, or you're just talking
Well,
about like
I
they're
mean, like,
purely mental projections that literally don't exist at all.
okay, well, mental. Okay, so something notional still does exist. It exists as something notional, but I'm just saying these things are notional. So as in they're
Okay,
just contingent on yeah a scope of theory. I would say.
okay, so a scope of theory. So when you're talking about something being notional, you're just talking about the idea of something, like they're just purely mental projections, correct?
Well, yeah, that will be a quality of it. Yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah, so that's just gonna be false because we literally see the singularity of fates objectively increase branching for the structure or timelines in question. I don't see why the worlds in question would be purely dependent upon Koji's mind, saying he doesn't view them 24/7.
Oh, okay, well, okay, listen. I'm not saying they fully were contingent upon it. As you paid attention to my wording, I said, yeah, sure, that's fine as a quality, as a quality. The entire premise, like I said earlier, is for example, let's say I have the notion of you beating me in a debate, right? That currently exists as a notion because the debate's not finished yet, right? So if we're referencing this idea of you beating me in debate, it is purely notional, right? And then you can reference like the abstract concept of it, whatever. Now, the entire premise is the fact that if we were referencing this notional idea, for me to say that possibility is destroyed, that possibility would be destroyed if you were to lose to me, because that possibility is no longer mutually inclusive to the current set of events. So it's still dictated via physical processes such as the current set of events of this reality. But it being notional does not tie into any type of causal effect in relation to substance. Right. So the entire premise is the fact that causal efficacy is adequate if it's still physical. So the entire that argument is just like irrelevant.
So I don't know if I'm not tracking or not. You can just say I'm not tracking, but based off what I've heard, you're just talking about something being a what if scenario, or not purely a what if scenario, but something equivalent to such. Talking about if I beat you, then that possibility is just literally no longer possible.
Yeah, that's the entire point. Because that possibility would be indexed to something that's already concrete that cannot coexist.
Okay, okay,
So
okay, 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 okay.
yes.
I think
So that concept is not viable, as in that possibility was destroyed via a set of physical events. But you see how we still kept the thing that was mutually exclusive, aka you beating me notional. We did not have to presuppose that thing was physical. Like the
okay,
causal efficacy there can be satisfied if we're referencing a physical set of events.
okay, okay, okay. So based on what my understanding currently of your argument, I'm just gonna say for the sake of the argument that if I remember correctly, so Koji was just talking about the possibility of Jura happening. I mean, obviously, you already know that. I literally set the chapter to it. And then we literally see like 2 years later, it still happened. And like the possibility of Jura beating Boruto just didn't cease.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Nice. Really nice information that I read twice. So what's that have to do with anything?
Uh, I'm just talking about you saying like it's a possibility that this may happen and like that possibility just gets destroyed.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. But the entire point is that, like, going back to the analogy with you, right? Let's say 3 years ago, it's still possible that you can beat me in a debate. That possibility can only be indexed to any point in time. But let's say I want to reference this specific time exactly, and let's say we literally follow up to this instance, it will still be equally as possible for that time frame. Just because the time frame exists is not, like I said, make the thing that has the causal impact of that thing being destroyed being physical or that thing being physical in question as a possibility. So the entire point is just the fact that as long as it's mutually inclusive to a set of events, that just means there was no set of event in the past which contradicted Euro being able to beat him. Like it's just that simple, and I think that would be consistent given the fact that he'd be weaker back then.
Can you repeat that argument right quick? I just want to fully track it.
Okay, so the entire point is bringing up how long something was a possible world, right? The entire criteria is first we have to understand that even if this world is physical or not, we're referencing, it has to be mutually inclusive to a set of events that currently exist. Now, let's say the set of events have never contradicted for the past 2 years, Jura being able to beat Boruto, right? It would still be mutually inclusive with that world, hence possible, right? Regardless of the time frame, until something concretely contradicts that, and that is cemented as the past. Now, the entire point is that, like I said, we can still talk about this thing being plausible, external to the possibility itself being physical. You notice how I was able to explain that without inducing that it was physical?
Sure, continue.
Yeah, so then continuing off of that point, I'll just give a more aggressive argument now. Is the fact that if I can adequately explain any premise in regards to semantics in the series as it being conceptual, then monsters would be more parsimonious because I'm asserting less entities. Or I would be asserting devoid of substance, you would be asserting things of substance.
Okay, okay, okay. So basically, you're just saying they just don't physically exist external in reality, right?
Likely, I'll consider only assert. Like I think so far as asserts likelihood. But yeah,
Uh,
as far as any adequate explanation has been given of semantics so far, it can equally be covered with what's it called? These possible worlds just being conceptual.
okay, so yeah, again, that just goes to the point. Like, if we're talking about something being conceptual or abstract, we're talking about it lacking physical properties to be destroyed in the first place because nothing abstract can be destroyed.
Well, no, I never reference these concepts
You
as
just
abstract or
earlier you
notional.
said they were hypotheticals, and I put into
Yeah,
question: Are you
hypotheticals.
And I put
Yeah.
into question if you're talking about like what if scenarios, like what if I beat you, or what if X or Y happens.
Okay. Do you know the difference between an abstract concept and a notional concept?
An abstract concept is going to be something lacking of physical properties, but can you elaborate on a notional concept? Or
Okay, so if we posit that notional concepts, like firstly, like without no meta rainbow shit, that like thoughts can be conceptual or they are conceptual, whatever. Notional
okay,
concepts,
so
yeah, option,
I'm
yeah.
gonna let you
If
finish, but let me say this once. You're just gonna say that thoughts are physical, right?
well, no, I'm not. I was actually going like against that.
Okay,
I was
okay,
saying,
so yeah, go ahead.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, so the entire premise was the fact that notional concepts are just referencing concepts contingent on the mind, right? Which suggests that their existence is limited. Because if there are no minds that exist, this existence of a notional concept is conditional. Right. So the entire premise is the fact that notional concepts exist for a period of time. Because it's an idea contingent upon the mind. Abstract concepts would just be referencing something that is conceptual, which is external to spatial temporality, so it's eternal, so it's just long lasting. They give it like more like a platonic form. So the entire difference is that if I were to assert that an abstract concept would change that would contradict its nature by definition. I'm not asserting that. That's why I said all these concepts so far are notional. I don't see a problem with that.
Okay, so based on what I heard about you talking about notional concepts, you're just again saying they're purely dependent upon Koji's mind. I don't see why physical actions
No, I
outside.
said like a mod. I never said Koji's. Like,
Okay, but the mind in question should be Koji's.
well, characters conceive of it external to Koji, so we know that generally speaking, as long as a mind that exists to interpret these events, these things should exist.
Okay, yeah. As I
But
was
is it? But hold on, is there any argument though? Because if they're abstract, if they're external to spatial temporality, these things can't change. So I think it would support the fact that analytically these things should be notional, not abstract.
okay. Again, like I was going to say, or I said earlier, something abstract cannot be destroyed either way, so that would be fucking illogical to say. Um, but as I was gonna say,
Okay,
like
what?
the
Well, so that means we agree that these are not abstract concepts if they are only concepts to
yeah,
begin with, right?
I said they're physical. I'm getting rid of the possibility of you saying they are abstract concepts or
Oh, okay,
abstract
okay. I
worlds.
was
Okay, but
okay.
okay, is that all? Is that all?
Yeah, so far, yeah, I don't think any more arguments have been defeated. Do
Okay,
I
so
like this is starting to get annoying, bro? Like, I don't think you're giving anything new. You get like another 5 minutes, and then like we can conclude, and then
concepts or whatever the fuck you said. Uh, yeah, I just don't see them purely being dependent upon Koji's. Well, wait, actually, no, I didn't check that. But I don't see them purely being dependent upon a mind, as you said. Because, like, again, we literally just seen, if I'm not mistaken, Boruto chapter 78 or 9. Boruto's just capable of perceiving them as well.
oh, like oh my god, bro. The entire point is the fact that if there's a mind interpreting these events and filtering information from these hypotheticals, whether or not they be physical, or whether or not they be abstract, or whether or not they be conceptual, the entire premise is the fact that a character perceiving them does not debunk my argument. If the only way your argument could follow through is that these possibilities equally exist as if there were no mind to interpret them,
I
which there's
mean,
no argument.
we literally just seen in chapter, I want to say 18 or 19, that Koji doesn't view them 24/7, so it's not clearly dependent upon his minor perception. Like, they
Okay,
literally.
but I said a mind though. So like we have characters that we know exist higher dimension like Shiba, right? For example, they could be perceiving these events. Or for example, like characters like Boruto are now aware of it. Right. So like but I don't understand how we like they could just still be referencing the same mental scope of which he grounds these hypotheticals based on. I don't see how the lack of them showing it means anything.
What do you mean the lack of them showing it?
So like for example, let's say like Kashi and Koji stops perceiving these worlds, right? And then if I were to posit they were notional, right? It's not contingent off of him currently interpreting the information in these worlds. It's the fact that if his mind exists, now this hypothetical exists of these worlds, right? And logically speaking, he's able to evaluate these pathways with his ability. I don't see any problem there with if he stops looking at the worlds, they will still exist in the mental scope. He just gets access to them when he uses sensory information to detail.
Okay, so basically, literally all I've heard it again is just you're saying they're purely or are dependent upon his mind in some form of aspects. I mean, I'm
I'm
pretty sure
not hit.
we mutually agree they physically exist, right?
What physically exists?
The worlds or timelines,
No,
whatever the
that's
fuck
like
you
the
want.
entire thing in question, bro. That's the entire
I
thing in
mean,
question.
so far we've been discussing that topic. You just say they're purely dependent upon the mind. I say Koji doesn't literally view them 24/7. They can still be affected outside, or they can still be affected when he's not perceiving them.
I addressed this already, bro. Do you like want to conclude and then like lose on something else, or like what's going on? Because it's starting to get like.
Uh, I mean, we haven't really even got that far into the shit, but
Bro, I think we're arguing one scale. As far as the debate's gonna go, this is the most substantive it's gonna get, unless you have like another point you want to introduce.
uh, I was mainly gonna talk about the singularity of fates. Obviously, you should be familiar with them.
Okay, do you just want to conclude on this point and then go on to the hypothetical, like stemming on for other reasoning that could be higher credence for
I
why
mean,
that's
we could we
dimensional?
could we could discuss the hypotheticals a bit more if you want. I mean, I don't see why that would be an issue.
I'm not saying anything's an issue, bro. I'm just saying it's not conducive to anything. You're just okay. Do you think I need to refute anything? And if so, like I don't think I need to anymore. I think everything you said was
All of my
what I
arguments
said already.
for are you done?
Yeah, no, I stopped talking.
Okay, yeah. So all of my arguments were dependent upon the fact that they physically exist. They can be destroyed. So obviously, the characters in question, what scale to them? I mean, you just obviously we both agreed that they wouldn't be abstract as they can be destroyed in some forms. You brought up the notional shit, talking about that Koji's mind would still perceive them to be something. I didn't really remember all that shit. I'm not gonna lie, but talking about them being notional or dependent upon his mind or some shit like
Okay,
that.
well, so like the entire premise of notional is that it is based off of eight mon, right? It's an idea or hypothetical contingent on. I would just say either one of conscious or just two of mine. So the entire premise goes off the fact that not only is Kashin Koji not the necessary entity to do this, the distinction that I made, which was still equally be narratively relevant, is the fact that his 10 directions ability allows him to constantly detail his information and the changing hypotheticals, which are a mutually inclusive set to reality. So if that details, not only does it explain the ability, not only does it explain that it can exist independent from him using his sensory information, because sensory information, like I said, can be detailed external to as the mind, right? We can already understand that if he's not currently looking at it, it can still exist, right? But as long as minds exist, we're detailing this hypothetical world, which it has to navigate these rules in order for it to be a possible in the first place. And its causal efficacy in terms of making these worlds exist or not exist is contingent on whether or not it's mutually inclusive to a physical set of events, not these worlds actually being physical. I'll give you multiple hypotheticals where we're able to analyze a possible world being a own possible world as a hypothetical, but its standard of which it exists and it can be destroyed is contingent on a physical state of affairs. And then you said they scale to because of a singularity.
Uh,
Where's the yeah, what is the semantics of scale two here, and how are we fitting this criteria?
well, actually, I didn't say this. I didn't really begin with the singularities saying they do scale to. I was just mainly gonna talk about Jura killing Boruto across the possible worlds. We literally see this sequence of events is just gonna be equivalent to theirs.
Okay, but like I don't understand like how like where's the scaling to? Because you said because they're given the fact they're
Okay. So
singularly
so now
impact can
we're
destroy
getting
these
now
stuff.
we're getting something. Okay. Do you know what set theory is?
Uh, Do I know what set theory is? I think so. I'm not. I don't think
Okay.
I
So what the
don't know
fuck do
that.
you mean
Not
you
what
think
it
so?
is.
That's a yes or no.
But that I'll just give you an answer. I think I do. I
Okay. You
don't.
think so?
That's
That's a
the
big fellowship.
that's
Anyways,
an
yeah.
adequate answer.
Yeah. Anyways, we're just gonna talk about like a accountability infinite set. So you know what accountability infinite set is?
I think so.
Think so. Okay, yeah. So accountability infinite set cannot be increased at all in cardinality. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with that. If not, then you could just.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm not familiar with that. I'm not sure about that.
You're
How is it relevant? Like, can we tie into how it's relevant first?
what did you ask me earlier?
I said that you said that they scale to X. How are we getting the idea that they're scaling to something in this scenario? Because firstly, this presupposes that you won that previous point, but I mean, like, you're not saying anything substantive to address what I'm saying, so we're just moving on. So, like, how do they scale to it?
Uh, I just believe, sure, destroying the worlds, you would be affecting them.
Okay, like, okay, how does that mean you scale to? Like, what is that?
Uh, what does it make you scale to?
Like, what does scale to mean, and how do they scale to something just because they affect it? Like, I don't.
Okay, so obviously we're just gonna see that George just gonna kill Boruto across all the timelines, or significantly affect them by killing Boruto, and the world just ends immediately after.
Okay, what? How does that prove that they scaled to something? So, for example, let's say, like I said earlier,
Okay,
right? Okay, hold up. Let's
okay,
say, like I said earlier, let's say right now, right? I shoot myself in the head. I could die to the bullet. Okay, cool. Right. Okay, before that happens, though, let's say the possibility of you beating me a debate exists. If I go to your house and kill you right now, that possibility ceases to exist, right? If mortal realism is true, then it is the fact that I destroyed a concrete world, like, or I guess a concrete world that can happen in this instance, right? Given your argument, if I'm destroying it, let's say like a concrete universe that contains the possibility of you beating me to debate, and I just destroyed that, but I'm gun level. Do we not see the problem here? Like causal efficacy exists to the point where this character can cause a causal chain reaction to the fact that the action that they're committing is mutually exclusive to that possibility. I don't see anything about like APDC, like durability. I don't see anything.
Okay. So, can you repeat what you just said? Like, I want to say when you're talking about the guns, or you're shooting yourself in the head. You can begin from there.
Yeah. So, like for example, I can destroy a possibility, right, via just a set of events that become mutually exclusive to the possibility being interacted with, right? So the entire premise is that, for example, the possibility of you beating me in debate exists. Let's say that possibility is its own universe. Well, then let's say I'm gun level. I can shoot myself in the head. Like I'm very probably gun level. I'm a human. I'm a regular ass nigga. But I go to your house and I shoot you in the head. Now the entire premise is the fact that that possibility no longer exists. It's not possible to beat me in a debate. Why? Because you're dead. But I did that while simultaneously being gun level. I fit the criteria of what you said of destroying a possible world, but I'm gun level. Right. The only way that we are able to evaluate of me destroying this possible world is given the fact that it's no longer mutually inclusive, which can be done via creating a new set of events just by simply doing something. Right. I do not see any potency in act here right now.
Okay, so
Are you trying to destroy this planet? Are you serious?
yeah, I was just gonna shut nothing my way. Okay, I was gonna say fuck, actually I forgot. Hold on.
Scott said statement about the Uzahiko when talk about possible worlds, bro. Might actually be raps.
That's not what I did. Hold up.
Sorry, I panicked. God damn. You
See, two
like
niggas started
ironically
babbling. Can you repeat what you said earlier? Or earlier?
Yeah, I was saying that. So, for example, when we're talking about destroying a possible world, we can evaluate scenarios in which I could destroy a possible world, regardless of its state of existence. But I do not have that active potency of what you're implying. So, for example, the possibility of you beating me in debate exists right now. Right now, if I go to your house and shoot you in the head, that possibility no longer exists because not only can you not debate, but the debate is over. Right. So the entire premise is that possibility as being plausible is not destroyed. Right. That possibility no longer exists. It's not possible. It's not mutually inclusive to the current set of events. That set of events contains you being dead. Right, but I'm gun level though. I can shoot myself in the head and I die immediately after.
Okay, yeah, so
So
again.
I just okay. You remember now?
Yeah. Okay, so
Okay,
the
okay.
only issue with that is if you're just talking about like killing me in a possible world that the possibility is no longer deemed possible, it wouldn't really destroy the world in question since we literally see the sequence of events is equivalent to what's happening in their current world. Uh
Wait, wait, what? I'm so confused. If it's no longer possible in reference to a current set of events, then it is no longer a possibility. So its current state has been diminished. So I do think that fits the criteria of being destroyed.
okay,
Like there's an active potency reducing it.
okay, so okay, so when we're talking about Jura killing Boruto across the possibilities, obviously he says, or Koji says, the nigga is just blatantly gonna kill him, and then like immediately after the planet is just going to get destroyed because literally no one is capable of stopping Jura. I don't necessarily see
Wait,
why
when is
you.
it? When did they say that? When did they say that?
When did they say which part?
The planet being destroyed because they can't beat Jura. Like when was
Oh
Jura's
yeah.
planet ever did that shit?
Oh you. Oh my fucking god! They keep calling.
Version of the skin. The skin's referring to the Uzahika. They like this is the skin is referred to either. I have no.
Okay,
All right,
so
I'll let you debate.
okay, so you asked me earlier, what the fuck did they state talk about that literally no one can beat Jura or some shit like that?
Daemon victim. What were you saying?
Okay,
Is
so
statement that nobody can beat Jura?
yeah,
Like maybe. Okay,
you
cool.
said,
Like good job.
nigga, I'm asking a question. What the fuck did you ask me earlier? You're talking about them or people not being capable of beating Jura or some shit
Okay.
like that. Okay, so just repeat what you said earlier so I can fully grasp it.
Yeah, I just said that you said that characters are like if they don't defeat Jura, the planet is destroyed. That's where that comes from.
I never said if they don't defeat Jura, the planet is destroyed. I said that the planet gets destroyed if Boruto dies.
Okay, and where's it like still like the same burden exists? Like where does that come from?
Okay, I'll just in both chapters or things.
Okay, so this just says
Okay,
do not
I
fight
said,
Jura.
I said, I
You might
said,
die.
I said, I will get the other one.
This still has no relevance, by the way.
What do you mean? Sure, I guess.
No, I'm so talking to my grandma. Okay, cool. You're the one thing we cannot lose. Yeah, WW. Yeah, Barto's important.
Boruto's important. Yeah, okay. So, do you agree to the fact that the sequence of events is just going to be equivalent to theirs if Boruto dies, planet gets destroyed, but no one else can defeat Jura?
I don't see why them dying means the planet's going to get destroyed, though.
What the fuck do you mean?
Like the only thing that's gonna happen is just gonna harvest everybody. Like the planets don't
Okay,
get
so
destroyed after these
what
niggas
the fuck?
harvest.
Okay, okay. So when you think the divine tree is planted, obviously, what the fuck do you think it does? What do you?
Okay, so when the tree gets planted, it takes all chakra from all things living on Earth, right? I
Okay,
think including ancient energy and data.
okay,
Then it extracts it, it creates the fruit. You bite the fruit, and then boom, like you're good.
okay,
The
okay.
planet is
So
been
you
shown
said
to combust, my nigga. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
so you're saying the planet just doesn't get destroyed?
In terms of like it physically collapsing, like the literal terrestrial body
Uh,
collapsing. No, like if you're referring to like society, then like sure, like whatever. But like
I don't
no, the planet has never been crumbled before.
I don't really believe it matters. I believe since it's getting destroyed, they should scale to it either way.
What are they scaling to though? Like, because the only thing I could
The
verify so
top,
far is this.
the
Like,
timelines.
okay, but like how? Like, what about their active potency is fitting your criteria? At which that potency
Okay, so
enough?
are you familiar with the low complex criteria? Obviously, you significantly affect and/or destroy or create.
Yeah, fifth or sixth dimensional coordinate spaces. Yeah, that are
I said
universal size.
fifth.
Yeah, sure,
I
whatever.
said fifth. Okay,
Well,
yeah.
yeah,
So
but the tier is fifth or sixth. So, but like, yeah,
okay,
go on.
okay, yeah. So obviously, Juror's just gonna be destroying or significantly affecting the worlds in question that the narratives are dependent upon.
That the narrative is dependent upon.
I
What the
said
fuck?
that. Okay, I said Jura is going to be affecting the timelines, right? Right, right. You hear that? You hear that?
Your rhetoric is not that good to be doing this right now. Just continue.
Okay, because you acted like you didn't understand what I said earlier. That they
Well,
are going.
I thought I heard what you said properly. I just thought it was retarded. But like, go ahead, repeat it though.
I don't care, but yeah, Jura's just gonna be destroying the world in question, aka the planet. Obviously, they're just gonna scale his AP to low comp.
Okay, bro, where are we getting the idea the planet is destroyed? Like, you still have not proved this burden
Okay,
to
okay,
even begin
so
on this one.
what is your definition of destroyed?
Stop asking me shit, nigga. Prove your argument,
No,
bro.
because
Like,
like you're talking about the planet doesn't get destroyed, but like earlier you talk about the planet or the celestial body of the planet combusting or exploding or whatever.
I said that that's not what happens, bro. Stop asking me questions. This is your argument.
I didn't ask you a question. I was restating what you
Yes, you.
said.
No, you asked me a question. Like,
So
I
are
don't know.
you
What's up with this shit that gaslighted me, bro? Like, I have ears. I have a
okay?
brain.
Okay.
Like,
Does
nigga.
anyone on mute and just confirm
No,
that
nigga, I don't give a fuck about
this
nobody
nick
else.
this
I don't
nigga
give a fuck about
literally
nobody
said
else.
the celestial body isn't
I
exploding or
don't
whatever?
care. I don't care. Give the argument, bro. Before I can destroy the planet,
Okay,
bro.
yeah. So again, the divine tree plants, the planet gets destroyed. It's literally just stated.
Where's that stated or shown?
Okay, I'll just get the statement then.
That shit never says the planet, like the terrestrial body, dead ass falls apart. It doesn't come
Okay,
back
so
together.
you
Like
do have a specific criteria of destroyed. Okay, that's nice. I
I
guess that
told
was
you
it.
earlier. I told you earlier.
Okay, so
And that wasn't a specific criteria of destroy. You just said destroy the planet. Like the planet is in reference to the literal celestial body, not like the world on the planet. World can be indexed to things external to the actual terrestrial body, such as society. That's why I said that you talking about them destroying society. Like sure.
I gotta find it.
This debate's boring. Your Barca fans are never engaged into debate. I thought you was some high tier ass nigga. I thought I was like, man, bro, I'm gonna debate a nigga better than six. Like, I'm gonna debate a nigga like he gonna be nose clipping me.
Hold up, just look.
Bro, do I have to explain why this is ass? Do I
Uh,
genuinely have to?
you can try. Go ahead.
Oh my god, bro. Like, can you tell me, yo, y'all, bro, come on, like, is this for real? Are you trolling me? Are you just sending shit you think like will work?
Are you gonna explain like you said you were or what?
It's just like it's so easy to debunk that like I'm gonna
Okay,
finish
okay,
like
so
I'm
do it.
bro.
I don't really care for the extra bad one.
You know, like it's just hilarious. Like this nigga really just wasted my time. Get some shitty ass skins. Okay. So you sent the cropped out panel. God knows where that shit's from. I think it's during a model's explanation. I don't fucking know.
A model's explanation, you're trolling.
It's either a model's explanation or like when Bart was talking to Momoshi. I can fucking tell you. I don't really
When
fucking know.
he's
But
talking to
regardless,
Momoshiki, this thing is fucking trolling.
the statement just says, and our planet dies. If there's a lack of life on the planet, it is not considered alive. Alive is contingent on something being biotic, right? Something being abiotic is not death. But if life has been taken away and is currently in a state of not having it, that is death. A terrestrial planet isn't alive. So when they're saying the planet dies, they're not referencing the planet being destroyed by definition. That is retarded. All right. And then the second one, it says if Shiki had killed the Kage, he'd have resurrected in Kawaki's body and planted a divine tree, the planet would have perished. They don't say anything about not the planet perishing to be indexed to not only the previous statement of semantics, but the planet perishing also does not inherently reference the idea of the terrestrial body literally being destroyed. That is retarded. Right? Like
Okay,
this is
so
what I don't understand why you sent such ass evidence. Like,
okay,
bro.
so are you done?
No, I'm not done. I totally just stopped talking and just like was not
Okay,
done
you probably could
speaking.
add something else you wanted to say, but yeah, when I'm talking about destroyed, I'm talking about obviously the world's gonna be inhabitable, or it's like literally just destroyed overall, but that literally would still fit the criteria of significantly affect. I don't.
Oh, I'm no like we're going. You said what? What are you talking about? You're talking about like Terran system or some shit? We're saying significantly affect.
Yeah.
Okay, here's showing me that they're referencing significantly affect in the same manner because they could be referencing significantly affect as in how Garo was able to cause shockwaves across the entire planet and fucking combust and cave that shit in where it wasn't destroyed. They don't have to be referencing significantly affect as in the society built upon the planet is significantly affected. That's like retarded.
Okay, that really didn't address shit. But do you agree that
Okay,
he's
well, like, bro, the
okay?
criteria that you name, the disjunction you gave, you're fitting the criteria of significantly affect a planet. But the significantly affecting a planet is not necessarily in reference to the planet itself physically being altered. All right, especially if the main setting is the world within that planet. It's like retarded.
Okay, so as I was going to say, again, it just leads back to the sequence of events being equivalent to the real world. Obviously, I don't have to repeat all of that. You should know it. The planet gets destroyed. Obviously, that still would fit the criteria of significantly affect in some regards.
Okay, bro, you want to conclude, bro? Like your argument's rest.